Hello everybody, welcome back to Mohawk Motors. My name is Jason. It's 11:15 on Monday night before the 4th of July. And I really should be going in the house to get some rest because we've got a lot of plans coming up in the next few days. But I'm too close. I have got to get this engine into this chassis tonight. I can't wait any longer. I'm so excited to see it, so I got to do it. Let me set you up and let's plop this thing in there. All right, well everybody, if you've been following this build, you may be as excited as I am, and maybe you're up later than you should be watching this. But guys, it's been months getting to this point. Between getting the truck torn completely apart, sandblasting, cleaning, painting, going through the engine, doing cam, valve springs, intake, all of that stuff, going through the transmission to put the shift kit and everything in it. Like, it's 11 o'clock. I should be inside getting some sleep. We have got a ton to do in the next day or two and over the holiday weekend. I'm sure my kids are they're just gonna run me backwards and forwards all weekend. But man, I can't wait any longer. I don't even need it to be fully bolted in. I just want it sitting in the frame. I really hope I can do this without scratching up any paint or breaking something. I think I can. And that's going to be pretty close. Let's start coming down just a little. I said a little. Gently. Okay. I think we need to go. Oh, we're close. Let's go a little more. Gently. There we go. Gently come down. Gently coming down. Come on, girl. This is your home. Go to your home. You're gonna like it here. It's so clean, it's so nice. Ah! Yes! It's in there! We have engine and transmission back in the chassis. Man, it even looks like it's lined up. Right on the money. Which, I mean, I guess that's not that impressive. GM kind of engineered these things that you can't screw it up when you're sitting them down in the chassis this way. But, holy monkey. What a process just getting to this point. And now, folks, now the real fun. This is motivating. Everything's clearing. Again, like I knew it would. Whoo-wee! Let's get the chain off and get the lift out of the way. Didn't even chip the paint. Didn't scratch anything. Oh yeah, the bolts on this side are lined up perfect. Transmission mounts right where it belongs. Aha! Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So pumped. And this looks awesome. I'll tell you too, seeing it here in the chassis now, the hammered finish silver engine block with all the other black, I like it. I really wasn't sure about it, but now that I see it in there, I like it. Oh yes, it's gonna be sweet dreams tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! I feel like this is like the, you know, you've been running a trail marathon and you're coming to the last mile or two and it's all downhill, and you know you can just sprint the rest of the way, because getting it together from this point, like, this is easy stuff. You guys know I've been doing this over and over and over again for years, parting these trucks out. This is the quick and easy work now. So, heck yeah. Heck yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna admire for a little bit. All right, I've given myself 10 minutes and I've just been looking and admiring and thinking about what I need to do next. So I'm not going any further tonight. I'll come back down tomorrow night. Part of this is I'm really excited to start getting the jewelry on this thing. I've got a full stainless exhaust system for it, including long tube headers, a bunch of other stuff. But I think to make my life easier, before I do that, I got to do some of the unexciting stuff. And examples, I got to get the transmission cooler lines on. Because if I put headers on there, there's going to be no chance of me getting them in. I've got stock factory replacement transmission cooler lines. I need to get those in before I put anything else on this thing. I've got to get the fuel line up to the fuel rail completed. I've got to get the wire harness draped onto this thing. So there's a little bit of unsexy that I have to do before we can get to the sexy fun stuff. And that's okay. It'll be worth it. This is super motivating. And having that next milestone, the exhaust, to look forward to is going to help keep me motivated on this thing. So I'm leaving it for tonight. It's almost 11:45 now, and I've got to get some rest. I can't be up past midnight, or I will not be a happy camper tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. All right, well, everybody, it's the next night, Tuesday evening. It's about 11:45. I'm wrapping up for the night. I got to go get some rest. But I did make some progress. You know, I'm moving the needle a little bit at a time. I got my transmission cooler lines installed. They'll be fine just like that until I get the core support and everything in. I got the starter installed. I got the rest of my fuel lines installed. Well, fuel line installed and run and routed in a way that I'm happy with it. And, oh, and I got the actual engine and transmission, the mounts all bolted down, torqued to spec, good to go. So, not huge visual changes, but enough that, you know, I feel like I moved the needle. I'm getting something done. And honestly, I'm kind of stuck until I ordered. The harness I'm using has Maltec injector connectors, and I needed EV6 injector connectors to match my flex fuel injectors. So I ordered those plugs. They should be here in a couple days. But it works out because we're leaving tomorrow to go camping. So I'm not going to be able to work on this for about, for the next 5 days anyhow. So by the time I get back, my injector connectors should be here. I can get the harness draped over this thing. And then once that's in place, then I think we can start getting the jewelry on this thing. The exhaust, all of that stuff. So that's where I'm leaving it for now. probably see you guys in 5 days or so. All right, everybody, so it's the Tuesday after Independence Day. I'm finally back down in the workshop. We went camping. We had a great time over the holiday weekend. Came back. I had a bunch of other stuff to get caught back up on Sunday night and Monday night. I'm finally able to get down here at a reasonable hour tonight and try to get some stuff done. And I want to get the harness draped over this engine, connected in as many places as I can, so that I can start putting the candy on. I want to at least get the headers on this thing and have that as my end point for this video. So as far as a harness, I'm using a factory harness for a 6-liter with a 4L65. I'm actually using this one right here that I have out of a 2004 Denali that I parted out a while back. Whoever bought the engine didn't want the harness, so I saved it. Now, this thing should be pretty much plug and play. There's only a couple changes I have to make. This harness uses Multec style injector connectors. I'm using flex fuel injectors with an EV6 style connector. So I'm gonna have to swap those out. I'm not sure if the evap purge valve connector is the same or not. I'm not gonna be using an evap purge valve, so that one we'll just eliminate. I'm using the new body style map sensor, so I will have to cut off the sensor connector original to that harness and splice in this new one. And I think that's pretty much it. Everything else I should just be able to plug it in, route the harness, put it where it needs to be so it's safe, it's tucked in, it's not going to get damaged or hot or anything like that. And then that'll be it. So I'm going to do less talking and more doing and get this harness on here, and I'll bring you back when I'm done. I want to stick the headers on this thing, so I got to get after it.
Many hours later.
I got to call it for the night. I made good progress. I'm not done, but I made good progress. It's getting close. It's just about midnight now, and I know this still looks like a bunch of jumbled up wire spaghetti, probably to most of you, but it is getting there. I've got the alternators wired, my front lower harness is in place, routed just like factory, hooked up to the starter, the crank position sensor and the low oil sensor, AC compressor. I've got my wire connector for the AC switch over here. I got my new map spliced in and wired up. And I got the transmission harness run down and connected in. It's all done up nice and neat. So that'll be ready. Cam position sensor and oil pressure sensor hooked up. NOx sensors. So I'm leaving off on, I was getting my coils ready to put on, but I got to get those cleaned up before I put them on there. So I'm going to get the coil packs all cleaned up tomorrow. I'll get those on, and I'll get the plugs and wires in. I think my injector connectors will be here tomorrow, so I'll get those all wired in, and just keep chugging along, making progress, slow but steady. And I just keep telling myself, I'm moving the needle a little bit at a time, getting closer and closer. Once I get the harness on, I can do the exhaust, and I'm excited about that. So I'll just keep chipping away at it. See you guys tomorrow. All right, everybody, as promised, it's now Wednesday evening. Took care of what I had to this afternoon and got down here to get some stuff done. And I got my first set of coil packs cleaned up. Now, these are not new. These are used coil packs. I know these are good coil packs. I cleaned up the bracket as best I could. I don't think that needs to be repainted. And I do have, I mean, these are obviously not new coil packs. The paint's blistering a little bit. But for the price of coil packs, guys, I'm definitely not buying a set of new ones. These things, like decent ones, are 50 or 60 bucks a piece. And on top of that, there's nothing wrong with these. They're just not the most beautiful. So it's not worth the time it's going to take to blast them and paint them. Not to mention I might damage something. So I got them cleaned off as best I can. They're on there. And I'm getting ready to do my injector connectors. So my new ones came. Here's one of them here, EV6 connector. I already tested and made sure it fits correctly, and they do. And you can see that they're wired. They have a black wire and a red wire. My factory injectors, all different colors, right? Now, when you're doing this, and in case you don't know, the fuel injectors are controlled by the PCM on the ground side of the circuit. Basically what that means is the PCM provides a ground to close the circuit, to activate the electromagnet, to pull the plunger, to let the injector spray fuel. There is power supplied to the injector all the time when the ignition is turned on. So my red wire on my new connectors will get connected to the pink wire. Pink is the power supply, and these are a little faded. These don't look as pink as they used to. But pink is power, and then all the different colored ones, that is the ground side that goes to the PCM. So I'll go through one at a time. Red will be connected to pink. Black will be connected to whatever the other color wire is for ground. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go through, get them done, and I'll probably bring you back with a progress update later. None of this is super exciting stuff or complicated. It's just got to get done. All right, everybody. Been getting after it down here, but it's almost midnight again, and I need to go get some rest. I figured I'd show you how far I got. I'm pretty pumped about this. It's coming along. So I've got my new injector pigtails all spliced in, everything wired in, set to go, both sides. Got the coil packs on both sides and connected up. Got those tidied up. I think they actually look pretty good. I'm happy with how those look. And I got the spark plugs in, and I got some of my candy on. Now, I'm not going any further with it tonight. Like I said, I'm calling it a night. I got to go get some rest, but we've got our Speed Engineering long tube headers on. Driver's side fits and clears really nicely. Passenger side over here is tight. I mean, it is super tight. There's just like a half a finger worth of clearance between the outside tube and the frame over here. And I actually had to custom bend my transmission cooler lines to get them to clear the header so they're not touching, and the bell housing and engine block and starter to where they're not touching. And I'll tell you, they are close, but they are not touching anything, which is the big thing. And really, I think I've got the whole harness connected and hooked up and done up. Well, everything is connected on the engine portion, both sides. I want to run the Gen 4 engine cover on this thing. So I'll take care of that, and I'll probably do a few test fits. And I need to see how much of this harness I'll be able to see and decide if I want to put some looming on it or not. Probably replace this little bit of looming here that's deteriorating. But the harness is on, and our headers are on. And like I said, these are Speed Engineering long tube headers. I also have the Y pipe and then full stainless exhaust to go all the way out the back. I'm going to get the exhaust on it, the rest of the exhaust on it. My plan is tomorrow, so hopefully that plan comes together. But big progress, getting really close to the end of this video, and time to time to get the body set back onto this thing. So that's it for tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. So it's Friday evening. I came down yesterday, but the workshop was just too big of a mess. I needed to take the time and get everything cleaned up so I can work in here again. So I cleaned everything up last night, and then tonight I came down and I hit it hard, and I was able to get the exhaust on, installed, Speed Engineering 1 7/8 stainless long tube headers, the Speed Engineering off-road Y pipe, and this is my first time trying their full exhaust 3-inch stainless all the way out to a single tailpipe. I've used Speed Engineering's long tube headers before and their Y pipe before on the Ass Blazer and one of my 2500 HDs, and they fit beautifully on those. It fit beautifully on this one too. Really no trouble at all getting this stuff installed. It clearly shows that they thought it out when they were putting this kit together. And same with the rest of the exhaust. The hangers all line up really nicely. The joints all slid together really easily. Like, it's a nice kit. I'm really hopeful that it sounds as good as it looks and went together, because we've got this nice 6-liter in here, and I like some rumble. So hopefully it sounds as good as it went together and as good as it looks. But what else did I do? I did have an oxygen sensor here, so I got one of my new oxygen sensors put in. I can't remember if I showed you all or not, but all of the electrical is done short of plug wires and the stuff that needs to get connected to the cab and things like that. So I think that's a good stopping point for this video. The rolling chassis, I mean, it's ready. It's ready for me to sit the body back onto it, which is going to be another project in itself. I'm doing better body mounts, a bunch of other stuff too. So that's going to be the next video. This is it for this one. If you have any questions about anything, I'm happy to answer. Drop it in the comments down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And yeah, we should see some big changes pretty quickly next video, because putting the front ends on these things together, I've done so many of them, it doesn't take me long at all. Probably a couple evenings, if that. So should be a lot different. It's a lot different at the end of this video. It should be even more different at the end of the next video. So appreciate all of you following along, watching the build. Appreciate all the support and the comments. I love hearing from you. And that's it for this one. Till the next video, everybody, take care.